I am Benjamin Flik. The year is... to be frank, I no longer know. Time moves oddly on this island, but I can tell you where I came from, at least once upon a time. The year was 1607. I was shipwright to Captain Newport aboard the Susan Constant. For those reading this and don't understand what a shipwright does, well, here's the short of it. We fix things, making sure the vessel is in pristine sailing condition. Well, the Susan Constant set sail from England with the Godspeed and the Discovery, journeying to the uncharted west. We sailed for what became known as Jamestown. I no longer know what became of that venture, if the settlers even lived through the ordeal, but I can say at the time, the destination, it didn't matter. I didn't care where we went, except for towns. Those places are congested. They're like wolves in a den. The people are pent up, confined to a life behind its walls. This life didn't suit me then, and it doesn't now. A life worth living, I always say, is one among the open lands and cool mist of the sea. After months aboard the Constant, we finally arrived. Although at the time I knew I wouldn't partake in the settlers' new life very long, it was pleasing to see them excited as they set foot on Jamestown's shores. This was their new home, so in that regard, I was happy for them. I'd be lying if I told you I didn't, even for a moment, enjoy the days we remained at the settlement. But regardless, just like the winter comes and goes, so did our time there. Captain Newport was to return to England for supplies, and naturally, I would follow. I expected we'd return within 6, maybe 7 months. We said our farewells and departed Jamestown. Little did I know, that would be the last time I would see it. The months that followed went as planned. We arrived in England unscathed, restocked, and set sail yet again for the shores of Jamestown. But this trip was different. Instead of taking position aboard the Constant, Captain Newport requested I follow in tow aboard the newly finished Red Ann. She was a mighty ship. She was named after the King's wife. The Red Ann was built for speed and extended voyages. Its wide, cherry-stained hulls could hold a surplus of supplies. Its vast white sails astonished all who passed by the shipyard. Although Captain Newport would never admit it, the Red Ann made the Susan Constant look dated and small in every facet. Thinking back to that time, I do miss Captain, the Constant, and the crew. But anyway, it was day 45 of our excursion, and we were on time and at roughly halfway to Jamestown. The day proceeded just as intended. The sky was clear, the sun hot, and the wind at our backs. But this did not last. In the evening, we were met with a red dusk, the sun dancing behind warm hues of red as it disappeared into the night. That should have been a good sign to us. That should have foretold a night of peaceful seas. But it wasn't. Late into the first watch, the ship's bell rang. This wasn't unheard of, as this was done to mark the times during the watch. So I rolled over in my hammock, expecting a quiet return to sleep. Without warning, the bell rang rapidly, signaling alarm. We sprang from our quarters and ran to the main deck. We were greeted by a thick fog. Its white walls so thick, the light of the lanterns reflected off themselves. The Susan Constant began to fade from view. The bell continued to ring. I moved quickly to the lookout at the bell, his eyes wide with fear, his hands ringing the bell so fiercely that rope ripped from its fixture. I couldn't shake his gaze. His fuel was fear, and I couldn't understand why. Until I saw it. The fog, now engulfing the ship, began to change color. It was moving. The fog passed through the main deck of the ship in constant motion, moving from starboard to port side. This wasn't just fog. It was a storm, and one like I've never seen. A dark wind tore through the ship, the Red Ann's hull creaking under the pressure. Its masts beginning to buckle, unnatural screams passing over our ears like ghosts over a graveyard. The lightning, the thunder, the roar of the wind, the screams of the men. As fast as it began, it was over. And I awoke on this island's beach. The ship, the crew, everyone I knew, they were gone. I was alone. But that was it. That was then, and, well, this is now. Again, I do not know how long I've been here, but long enough for my hair to fall out and my beard to gain more grace. I gotta say, for all the evil that fills this island, some of which I've only heard of, I love Aeternum. I love this land. For now, as I sit here on the beach I arrived at all these years ago, I'm happy. I'm reminded... Wait. Further down the beach, a man staggers. He's taken refuge in a stranded tent. He looks tired. Wait. Out of the shadows, another approaches. A mountain of a man, his shield slung to his back. He's drawing his axe. And yet another, with a staff. They're planning to attack him, regardless of cause. 2 versus 1 exhausted man is no fight. It's a kill for sport. I must help.